Hey everybody, this is Alexandrake, and today we've decided to go back to the Yater. It has been a while, I know. I apologise for those who are deeply invested. I have been distracted by Yoda time out of a sudden, so I was trying to catch up on myself, and in order to sort this out and provide the best entertainment for you guys. But now we're back. I want to dive in, and I want to finish this. I want to know the story of this, what's going on, and where it may lead to. Now, if I remember correctly, we're with Marianne McConaughey, her story. I think this might be the last part of her story. It's usually 3 episodes a person, usually. So let's dive in and see what her story will lead to next. Sounds good? Grand. Oh yes, she had an incident. An old school friend attacked her, and she got very close with... I did know her name. What's her name? Ute and... Hannah! Oh, Hannah. Those two, yes. Sorry, I got there eventually. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? No. Let's start. I can't wait for this day to be over. From the mansion through Ansium, I rode with them in silence. Oh, sound very close with them too for some reason. But as soon as we hit city proper, I asked to be dropped off and bid them good night. I thought it'd be best if I didn't stay too long and to find spaces with either Mrs. or Mr. Wrights. Both seemed to cause me serious trouble, and if the project had been interesting or grand, I would have dropped it without a second thought. Would have. Shouldn't have. Won't. I assured them that my place isn't that far off, and I have to fight off the urge to roll my eyes and drone when Whisty throws me a little smirk. But even in my own home, peace is elusive, and as is sheep. I ere wait, fainting of what I saw in that mansion. Of who I saw. If I so much as hear a single whisper from her, if I so much see a wisp of her hair, I'm afraid I'll go mad. But none of that happens. And it makes me feel hollow. For 2 nights, I had trouble sleeping. But it's only one morning, when fatigue has already yet me rest, that I'm reminded of what terrifies me so. Next day. In my restless dreams, I see that mirror. The one in the study. And in it, I see her. I see them. Uraine and Hannah? What? Hannah and Uraine?
Oh, pathetic Marianne. Work. She'll work herself to death. See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did. Look at what happened to me.
They talk amongst themselves with true smiles and feminist tongues. Or rather, to themselves, 2 heads, 1 body. What? A horrible mockery of these women as if they were one and the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out, and she doesn't even see it. Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
When they say a person has a hard time telling when they're in a dream, it was true often enough. Even this bizarre sight, even the obvious invitations, this isn't real. I can't help but feel distress.
Likely. Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead. Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
Though they speak to each other's ears, tones low and hushed, I can still hear them as clear as day. The whispers fade in the air, heavy and oppressed. So they bury into my head, yet tiny minutes wormed in them way to my snow. Oh, I knew that's what happened. It is only that when they take notice of my presence. Eyes turn towards me and I can only feel small under their scrutiny. Jaded smiles, each etched on their face, mimicking each other grotesquely.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite.
I think you would.
Unless you ask, that is. Have you been looking at us? Spying? How scandalous. Such a naughty girl.
Okay.
I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you? You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself. Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
My breath hitches. I open my mouth to protest, but they stop me, screeching. The mirror that holds them traps, the iron spidering across its surface.
Do not lie! We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt. You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell. You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
They get givered. And when I get to that, they would yunge. I wait, feeling that the wind has been knocked out of me. Wow, it's been so on. I wasn't expecting that intensity so fast. Okay. Amazing. With a drone, I squint and find a certain fluff ball sitting on my chest, using it as peas as punch. Oh. Yes. She is the overlady of the tats. Queen of despair and destruction of nice furniture. Though I can't say mad and majesty, no. Whatever. Does it feel like she did something good this time? I was having a nightmare, but I can't remember what it was about. Trying to talk leaves a terrible pit in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember.
Good morning, Baruthiel. Who's the good kitty? Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
A content purr comes from my sweet dear before she jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of the bed and start my day. Mornings before work is always a quiet affair. Shower first and a mug of coffee and a bowl of oats. Sometimes I do stretches, and I always check my work email. The Wrights will be moving into the mansion today. I don't think the paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think that they were allowed to start the move, despite that. Rich people out there will always find ways to get what they want after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay?
There's most certainly will.
And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party.
Oh, that's all.
But only if you behave like a proper lady.
That may be difficult for Tats. She barely gives me a chance, as I say that before going back to her own food. Tats. She's better than humans most of the time. Yeah, pretty much. Too bad I have to work with humans. I know. The place is already busy as soon as I get here. The foreman, one of them that I recommend to the Wrights for his work ethic, is early as usual. Already he's instructing the men here and there with a bit of goads. I have no chance to talk to him, and Mrs. Wright appears and greets me with a smile.
Mrs. Wright, I hope everything has been to your liking thus far.
Good morning, Marianne. It has been delightful, and these men have been very helpful. Look at all this. It's so busy here. I'm getting tired just looking at them go.
No complications so far with the movers or the previous owners of the mansion, I hope?
Has that accent slightly changed? Briefly. Oh, no, might be me.
If anything, the only one being problematic is Luke, if I'm to be honest.
Tell me something I don't know, sister.
He can be such a diva, but I do like that about him.
She stops, looking up at the upper yonder where Mr. Wright comes through with two other movers and a mirror from the study.
Oh, do be careful with that mirror. We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt because of broken glass. Why are you even having it carried around?
Oh? You did say you didn't want the mirror, and I keep getting distracted by it.
Vanity. You don't see me doing that.
If I'm going to turn the study into my office, I'd rather not have it there. Where can we put this?
Well, you are not putting it in our room. Why don't you go, I don't know, put it in the wine cellar for now? We can figure out to store it in the attic or somewhere else later, yes?
Oh, that's going to be a horrifying thing if don't do the attic now. Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
You heard her, boys. To the cellar it goes. Mush!
The moves bring down the mirror one step at a time, no matter how much the men tells them to hurry. An uncertain feeling grows in my stomach as I see our reflection in the bloody thing. I need a way, not wishing to risk anything. Fair point. If I see Urane's image in the mirror now, I won't know what I'll do. I don't have the luxury of privacy right now, and I'm not going to break down in front of all these people. As soon as they go into the chase on the rears, and I'm holding my breath. I get a sigh of relief when I think nobody's shitting. I'll go back to the task at hand. I'll be terribly busy today, and there's no need for me to even think of anything else. I talked with the foreman, film in which room is which. Seems I'm doomed to not get any insignificant work done without being interrupted when it comes to these particular chimes. However...
Marianne, dear, have you had breakfast yet? Well, I do believe it would be considered brunch at this hour.
Oh yes, Mrs. Wright,
You must join me. Johans has already been breaking in the kitchen, as they say. I do not see the others settling down for a meal anytime soon. Someone might as well enjoy the food while it's hot. And that someone might as well be us.
I should say no. I mean, must say no. I do feel sorry for Marianne here. The fact that this person, a random stranger she meets, reminds her so much of her friend. Uncertain. Poor her. But the way she smiles at me makes it difficult to do so. Yet how ridiculous I'm being, acting out a silly nervous stalker with a trust. Eh? I had a theory that those two were together. I had a theory. It's just brunch, and who am I to say no to a challenge or be impolite to do so? It's not that I'm going to agree which was anything other than priority. I'm not agreeing just because she baited her pretty eyelashes at me.
if you insist.
There isn't any of those. But it's something about her eyes, rather. Suggests she needs a taught. A friend. And though I'm not supposed to be chummy with my child, there's no harm in pretending, right? Ah. I've also been wrong on many cases before. Maybe there's plenty of harm in pretending that I tear. Does pretending I tear might ye to actually tearing? Being alone in the same room as the missus leaves me reading, as I find myself paying too much attention to her. Seems so borderline unhealthy how much I'm getting obsessed, even if it's just by yutting. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. As little insignificant things that I notice, like the way she plays with her hair or how she moves down her dress. Oh, yes, sir. Oh dear.
Up, higher, come on now.
Retap of Hannah's encounters. Whistley's annoying voice in the other room helps pull me back to the ground. I'm just shitting, aren't I? I know that someone like her wouldn't even yet at someone like me. You never know. Yeah, it's a strange thing. It breaks all barriers. Still, there's some time to turn around this bad decision.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright. But I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Oh, so that's why she said that.
Nonsense! You arrived so early. You must not have gotten a proper meal. Sit. Sit! I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now.
Her design is sweet, as is her smile. But I'm really not here for idle chit-chat, something I keep forgetting. Whew. Both distracted when the food arrives, and it's enough for me to stay at least until the meal's over. No more, no yes, just being polite. Thankfully, the conversation steers into a topic I'm comfortable with worked. Just goes on for a bit, and I can't be more relieved. Most people don't understand told me a word to hide, but I choose to work in the field I'm enthusiastic about. So what if my career is also my hobby?
But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
She's still yet sinister. This image here. I do not mean to be mean to her, but yet sinister. I don't trust it.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
Wait, doesn't she own the house? I'm pretty sure. I have no business with it though. It's theirs to hash out. But apparently the monumental confusion had been visible on my face.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes, what else is there to it? Without warning, this nice friendly chat devolved into something horrible. Something sad.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
Despite my general dislike of the upper class, I sometimes feel pity for them. They may have all the money in the world where material things are the problem, but they don't even see what they've become when they ended up or what they've done most of the time. They shut in by their own trap, forced to carry on with society's expectations, do everything to stay where they are and to keep what they have. A world where even people feel or are treated like they are mere possessions. When someone's at the top, the only way for them to go is down. I worked with many Hannahs and Utes and Whisties, but I've never been one of them. I don't pretend to understand the world any deeper than that. I merely know what I've witnessed before. Sios speaks as to how she betrayed herself. My pity for the acts of her returns. Nothing but pity moves me as I speak before she can say anything else that might ruin or break her.
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright. Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles. This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you. And whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne. You have to understand. These sort of affairs. If anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined.
It's interesting to showing us the entire version of her perspective, because I don't know, it's a little jarring. I don't know, it feels a bit too much because we've seen this before, but oh well.
All I ask for is your silence on the matter.
Science! The way she practically begs me to keep quiet about it is disheartening. I have no plans to speak about anything I hear, especially if it's about their private affairs. But the way she gets to me, the way she just suspects some sort of fallout because of this, makes my heart clench.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not that I have any other choice, do I?
Thank you.
When he asks for the drain is done, the doors open as if on cue.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Okay, she's going off.
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties. I must excuse myself.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
She stands to up and leave, and all I want to do is restore her den to prove that I am someone she can trust. So when she gets back my way, I didn't find a smile that found its way on my face. I feel giddy. But the feeling dies down afterwards as I sober up. Oh well, back to work. Ah, the kitchen and the wine cellar. Grand. Soon enough, I find myself drawn to the kitchen where the bright butler has returned to. He's ready to claim the space until he moves the bat off, and no one dares to question his proclamations either.
My kitchen. No kinder allowed. Little men running around with knives especially. We do not want any accidents to happen now, do we? Good? Good.
I mean, it is a knife-wielding German standing there. I don't think anyone would be insane enough to refuse this request.
I hope I meet the age restriction, or at least the height restriction, because I'm asking to be let in here.
You are allowed inside, McCulloch, but not the little ones.
Okay, Johannes. He shaved my head and the roll of my eyes is all I did him. It's not that I'm going to be any trouble to him. I just need to get around and get my bearings. The breakfast has been a distraction enough. I don't even want to think about what we just talked about. I just need to get my head straight and get back to work. The move is what officially, even when they have to own, they do not twit word of their responsibilities. The head foreman comes stand in the doorway to insult me on this or that, and I have to go help out every now and then. But they pretty much have everything up to standards. They step beyond the tie, no one realizes what they do so. Nevertheless, it is as well as the butler gets to heating up the leftovers bubbling straight for breakfast and makes a generous batch of fish and chips of them. Oh, beautiful. Most surely simple in comparison to what he serves to the Wrights, but well done nonetheless.
That smells good. Want to wrap up some for me to go?
It's an idle observation more than anything. My thoughts as they are preoccupied me.
If there are any left. One can't go wrong with fish and chips. Everyone loves them. Even my husband. And he's American.
Oh. I really do hate getting so up close and personal with my child. It's a distraction. It is obvious to me that I've dotted my priorities all wrong when I can't help but think about what I heard when I learned about the Wright couple. The fiends have a way of creeping up on a person, thoughts and ideas whether they are fact or fiction. You don't ask the Johannes, aren't you? The tree pup and the fester troll and riven the way that twists. I hear Didion, delight and mockery. The tree pup and sensation of fingers dosed you briefly on my arm caused me to freeze and hiss.
Don't!
I have expected to be there.
Whoa, no need to scream bloody murder! It's just me. Quiet down before you break glass.
But it's just Wisty.
Don't do that again. Ever.
I don't like being stared, though I don't believe that the acts of spooks being startled is not on the top of the list that fiends Marianne yiked. Only for him, I have nothing within reach, or he would have gotten on for any terms of serving at a rowing pin. Yeah, fair.
What was with that reaction? Were you really scared? Has Johan's been telling you ghost stories? He just loves to scare people. Isn't that right, Brother Gurium?
The butler's expression is unreadable. I hardly see any emotion on his face to begin with since I started working with the Wrights, aside from vague amusement. God, he must be so desensitized with everything that this guy says. I pity Johannes. I don't agree what he did to Zachary, but I do understand. But I do not agree. There must have been something there, though, judging from Mr. Wright's own content to it. The expression on Mr. Wright's face is almost true. But neither of them spoke even as Johannes leaves the room to serve the waters they gate young.
So, now that we're alone, Marianne, what are you so jumpy for?
I was just thinking about all the urban legends the movers have been telling me about this place.
Don't tell me you believe in that tosh. They're nothing but tales made up to scare children. Timmy, Billy, don't you dare go up to that big mansion and get in trouble there. The ghosts are going to get you.
It's always a struggle with him. I feel I should be drinking every time he speaks, frankly.
That's a boring way to look at it, but that's usually what it is anyway, no? Like I said, I was just thinking.
It would be a relief, actually, if those rumors of the place being haunted is true. That just means I'm not doing bonters. Hearing that you own seeing a dead person is cited as symptom of a healthy mind. Sure, it means that there be such things such as ghouls and darpians, but these are be sane. On the other hand, there would actually be a dead doe walking around.
If you could excuse the inane question, Mr. Wright, you haven't noticed anything weird here?
I simply wouldn't have questioned the surface, just I noticed the man stiffen as the question leaves my mouth. I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't watched his reaction intently, but his eyes, I see something dangerous.
That depends on your definition of the word weird. Are we still on the topic of this place being haunted? Because no, things have not started to fly around and we have yet to require an exorcism. I don't think my head would like to do the whole 180-degree turn thing.
I would.
Well, maybe that, but
For you.
no strange people?
Aside from my usually weird butler and all the weird men traipsing around touching my things? No, not really.
Either he's behind or he hasn't genuinely seen anything. He might be behind.
Why do you ask? Have you noticed anyone strange while you were here? Because you must report it to Johans and he'll have security handle it.
I'll tell you, his stutter reveals that he might have seen something.
But these reports better not be about ghosts and things that go bump in the night. I don't want to waste manpower on the boogeyman or senseless witch hunts.
He's seen something.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Wright. But no, it's nothing like that. I guess the mansion is just strange for me. It's a unique project.
No strange men or women lurking about then?
A dead teenager would tend to qualify as strange. But yeah, the whole I see dead thing isn't overwhelmed.
None that I know of. But I'll inform Johans immediately if something comes up.
Two eyes lying to each other.
I'm serious, Mint. You see anything, anyone suspicious, and you report it. Immediately.
Oh, he knows something. He's seen something. He's been tweeting and twiffing in his boots.
I think that goes without saying.
The concern he have on his taught austerities tweet on, his adroit smart smile returns if it's a bit subdued. Whatever smart he remarked or duenna he has at the ready, now comes through, as his voice from the dining hall rings out.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table,
Saturday.
but it's not what I really want to do. At least not all the time.
That would be the magazine photographer, I presume. As always, Mrs. Wright talks in such a kind and cheery fashion, no matter who she's talking with. It certainly puts people at ease around it. Sancho is working on the photographer too. Here and there, though, seems to put Mr. Whiskey in a sour mood. A use of his small style is to say anything to know by. Try the item mood, ask if he's alright. Is he do I care? Do I genuinely care? Try the item the mood. I don't think he personally would want the personal questions.
You're not gonna go out there and join Mrs. Wright?
Oh, with Yoda. Interesting.
You're starting to look strained. If you want your picture taken so badly, I'm sure the photographer would oblige.
What is it that you want to do then?
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
We need to get you away from the butler. You're starting to sound like him. No, I'm not joining Hana for an interior design magazine photo. What am I, a piece of furniture? Look, did a lot of you have anything else crucial to do today? Marianne.
There are still some little things to do. It isn't the end of the day yet.
Yes, but you're paid hourly, aren't you? Per day? Really, I don't care. You and the others can just take off for the day.
Why is he dismissing us early all of a sudden? Is this about the possible security threat? Did my trusted dad all worried and paranoid that he would just send the workers an eye away? I think as threats or of actual concern to these threats of powerful people, imagine whether anyone wants to or not, they'd have a few enemies here and there. But I'm sure the foreman and his workers can be trusted and there are no threats. Well, I do aside trust the people I'm working with. I understand if he doesn't know them from a town of paint. But still, well, they won't be safe if there are people around who can watch their backs.
You're the boss. My being paid by the day aside, I won't be held responsible for any significant delay caused by your decisions. I'll try to get around that, of course, but I'll just remind you of the fact.
Whatever, take forever with the house. I don't give a bloody damn. Don't you worry, you're still getting your money. Just sod off, go crawl around a pub and find yourself a good lay.
Paranoid and agitated as he might be, this conversation certainly didn't have to be warranting that sort of remark.
Maybe I will.
One out of Tisla just accept the fact that whatever he says will do while under his roof. Mrs. Wright and the photographer are still far too busy conversations to notice me, even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I don't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
During the foray has me stumbled upon the family butcher once more. He raises a brow in my presence.
And where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCulloch? The foreman is looking for you.
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
I don't doubt that. My way back to the sea doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there were some difficulties at first, as the driver didn't know where the Ermedard mansion is. He tried to have us hand over the GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other techno-babble I didn't care about and the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him it's that haunted mansion over in ancient Ferrage, he knew just the place. And finally headed over a bit with some hesitation. On the way back to the city, the driver keeps complaining about the place giving him the worries. Give me the worries too. I would have to snap at him. But as soon as the thought turns to me, another blossom in the forefront of my mind. One that has somehow bothered me greatly more than my aspiration over Wisty and his project or wanting all of it to stop. There has been no rain whispering over my ears today. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Searching for her. Sorry, I do not know how to pronounce that. U-sands, Fatim Biadi, U-sands everywhere. I thought I already moved past this years ago. It does nothing to help me turn my frustration if anything, it's only assures that I want a stiff drink. Where else do I go for a drink? Tuesdays for karaoke and Wednesdays, improv. Usually it's these 4 guys who did hilarious names, one with Irish drink songs and always a crowd favourite. Although Yaffa did Yaff and stand-up comedy is my thing without Tam or Piranha, when the other distractions they end up drinking the yacht more this time. And when there's several bottles of beer in me, I get really embarrassing.
Hey! G! Psst! G! Come over here! I need you for something!
It's good thing that the bartender is a nice fellow. I probably have been tipped out of the other place by now, or worse. If pushed on the shelf, all he would do is give me an easy smile and shake off his head. Even when he's attending to the other customers. Just right now.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
That's the officer from before, Dre. He's some Asian guy. Oh. Pretty sure I've seen him before a couple times, though he never talks to anyone else except for G. Those used to be all over him too, but he always turned him away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Oh.
All right. What is it?
Wait, is this some sort of setup or ton? That is the actual police inspector or chief. What the hell?
Do you need someone to help you get home?
I thought it was just reusing the same voice actor.
Bartender, pour the wine!
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
The wine comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my dread mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Because what little sense I have yet knows I'm sooner to take a full dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. That doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arm to the stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just yet I knew he would, before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
With no drink to no one really to chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep on the bar right there and then. But I'm not ready to stand up and try to trek back home just yet.
I take it the investigation isn't going well.
When does it ever? But that's not the problem. No, it's...
Is this about that hit and run from yesterday's morning news? I saw it.
Why is he here as a barman?
I just didn't know if it was the same girl you're always groaning on about. But this just proves it, don't it? You don't have a drink.
She might never wake up, G.
Oh.
And we can't find the son of a bitch that thought it was alright just to leave her there in the road.
That's an interesting expression.
Can't you just run plates nowadays? I mean, I just got a ticket for a busted tail light the other day, and they were on there quicker than you can say Bob's your uncle.
The footage is a mess for some reason, and the tech guys are trying to clean it up. Which just skeeves me off, you know. Those things are HD traffic and security cams. They haven't failed before.
And you're thinking there's something foul afoot, is that it?
A thought would have interested me would have kept my attention if I gave a damn. But in my current state, I can barely give two fucks about the things going on around me. It's interesting how different characters respond to each other. This is what I like about it, though, is having interactions without even them even realising the interactions. That's cool. All these words just buzzing bay surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. Oh, so she might not even know that. She might not even know that Isabella is dead. Well, injured. I hope injured. Peace. And it would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy. And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact.
I am so confused. What is...
Great tipper. If you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping. Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
You're fucking right. That ain't whiskey. Without him around, I'm still hearing about that die, or the absolute fucked. Despite this, I find myself getting up and sorting out to join him before I pile up.
Is this smart talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
Is that the only movement on G's face? He's a day, he starts to get tipped off his hair.
Don't worry, Holmes, she's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11". Can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here. What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove.
What is going on?
Maybe a leg. What with that fancy coat of yours?
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an arm. When he chased me off, I propped to the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of you. But you're still standing after all that, are you? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been treated like there's no tomorrow. I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes.
Fantastic.
Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating.
Well said.
One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah is pretty or anything. Utes is attached too, they both are. But I really turn out for the other wolf thing so you see how they even worked out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
I did all bubbles and I pressed my cheek against the tall countertop with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually trapped with one eye open just in case they thought I fell asleep. I grinned at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good.
Oh my god.
Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then. Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
And here we go. Sipping and sipping. I haven't been this drunk since a young time. It's a miracle I've been trained for as young as I've been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behavior? What? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
You're not that nervous for her, buddy. I'm sorry. It's not going to work out in your favor.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk.
But he's the chief. What? Huh?
This'll be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over both of them is powerful. If these had a taste, it'd be bitter than the beer I'm full of. It gets me feeding. The thing doesn't get me far with too much shite in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something. As ocht day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling ya. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulders and he starts to spin. I twitty snap his hand away the best I can and send him the foul shit I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up chucking on your pretty hair. But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from VRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking Wright, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either.
Wow.
I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us.
Oh no. Oh no.
Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to.
Oh god, you're saying the wrong things to him, buddy.
I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
And the V is pale number 4 at yeast. I sense the deer is turning his head on overtime. Sonny shows a card in my hand. The Gossamer Peace Department, Ashton Frey. On his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. But he has a set of thoughts as he grabs it from me and sips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash.
Oh.
If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
Is this the Chief's twin brother or something? Is it? I don't know. I don't understand why the Chief would be doing this for Nardius. The Dice twin on his feet is already up and at them, as soon as the number is his hips. Watch the man as he moves through the crowd of a pub dose is enough to tire me out. Fast as he turns, he's at the door and throws us a smile, and that's all we get before he's gone, just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Fair enough. Swimming in cocktails, nice. Mummy does cheapy fags, a dose off on spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I have for sleeping in such a position. But when you don't know, you don't know. Hi!
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not actually that much sheep to begin with. Let's go. You know what? I'm gonna probably end it there. It's a little shorter than the usual ones I tend to do. But for first getting into the Yetta once again, I feel like this was a solid start. I missed the intensity and the trees in this. Already, we have a two-headed beyond the 80s of questionable uncertainties. That's, I feel like, is probably just trying me very soon. Ain't that amazing? So anyway, I will say goodbye for now. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what you think down in the comments and what you think is going to happen to Marianne next in the next episode. I am curious if this next part will be the end of her, but overall, hope you have a good one, and I will see you very soon. Ciao.